So you just got back from the city of Jackson, Mississippi. You're back in Houston working on some projects. Also, tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
As far as what the Jackson, as far as the Houston.
Just back in Houston right now.
Um, I was in Jackson. I just got back to Houston. I had a real big project that we hadn't announced yet that I've been working on for the past few months. While I'm partnering with one of the homies named Chris. He's out of the Bay Area, like the Oakland, that area. But we were doing stuff for school districts. So I partnered with HISD. And what we're about to do, a lot of people probably don't know we have a large population of homeless, you know what I'm saying? I say homeless population, and it doesn't mean that they don't have a place to stay. It's just, I guess, how they classify with them being super less fortunate. So what we're doing is with HISD, all the schools, they're going to give me, shout out to the superintendent and everybody over there. They're going to give me classrooms at the schools, and we're going to fill them up with groceries, clothes, shoes, and allow the kids who less fortunate to come in and get things for free. So, that's been a real big surprise that I've been sitting up working on for the past couple of months. And I believe this week, either this week or the top of next week, we're going to do our very first school and, supply with clothes, shoes, and then other things. So that's something big for me.
That's really, really awesome. And we know you're always in the community. We know that your heart is in the city, and you're actually extending that to other people, our neighbors who are also in need. So you just got back from Jackson, Mississippi, like you said. Let us know kind of what's going on down there. What's the scope? What's the lay of the land, and how you and your team are helping.
Jackson, a lot of people were reaching out to me from Jackson, and, I move around so many different cities and states trying to find ways to help people, especially just here at home. But they were hitting me about the situation. And then as I seen the situation with the water and the other things, it's just like, we got to figure out what we can do. So me and my team, we went out there with filters. The filters don't necessarily make it the safest, but it put them in a better standpoint than where they were at. We went out there, we blessed hundreds of families with water filters where they can actually, now the kids can brush their teeth and have drinking water. We went and took, I could say anywhere close to 50 families or somewhere around there, shopping for groceries, supplies. And then next week, we're going to go back. We're going to use my 18-wheeler. And I believe Turkey Leg Hut want to go out there with us, and we're going to load the 18-wheeler full of water supplies. And then we're going to bring turkey legs out there too. I mean, it's just, at the end of the day, it's just about trying to do whatever you can, because a lot of people live and dwell on their personal situations and not realize there's so many people out there doing way worse. So for me, it's just doing what I can. Been doing it a long time. They're going to keep doing it, man.
For sure, for sure. So I was watching an interview earlier today with a college student, and she was just talking about how they can't brush their teeth, like classes are not really in session. There's a whole bunch of things going on, and these students really also can't get back home. And I know that a lot of the families that you're coming in contact with are kind of like, they just can't hop on a plane and go somewhere. They just can't leave their situation. There's babies without water. There's elderly people without water, and that's a basic necessity. So kind of tell us, what are the residents saying when they see you, they're talking to you, they're letting you in their homes? Are they desperate at this point? Are they hopeful that the government is going to do something soon?
I think it's a mixture. Definitely grateful because, just the fact of knowing somebody can be out there that even take the time to understand their situation. Something that I found out that a lot of us didn't know is this been going on since the 80s and 90s out there. So, we thinking it's been happening for 2 weeks, not knowing it's been almost 2 decades that they haven't had pure water. So, hopefully with what we're doing, we can put pressure on the government to make them understand if you got people from outside of there coming to try and do whatever they can to help, then they can definitely take some type of funds or some type of time to go out there and help the people out there, because you do have kids in college. You do have babies need baby water. There's so many different things, And I think hopefully it's put pressure and make other people step it up, just as well as when things happen in Houston, we do what we do. We hope people stand with us. So right now it's about just trying to be there for them.
Awesome, awesome. And have you seen any government agencies kind of going door to door helping neighbors, or is it more just like a neighbor's helping a neighbor, or people are outsourcing organizations?
I think his neighbors helping the neighbor, and the mayor, the mayor's doing everything that he can too, man. Shout out to him. I was with him yesterday. But I think, man, it's just people trying to help take care of the people, but it's not a situation you're going to be able to fix anytime. You got to think, if you're saying this been happening over 2 decades, there's no way this is going to be fixed that quick,
Right, right. And I heard they've been under a boil water notice since July. That's crazy to me. These people are and it's just now hitting the headlines. We're just now hearing about it in this way. So this is the last question. Just kind of speak to the fact that this kind of feels like a reoccurring thing, and it kind of feels like there's no sense of urgency. It almost feels like another American system in place to kind of go against Black and brown people.
The reason I'm going to agree with you with that is because a lot of the areas that are affected by it are low income, right? Because there's some nice parts out there that they're not having any trouble with the water system and other things. So it's definitely one of those type situations, and it's just messed up. I don't understand the motive or why it always and only happens to the less fortunate areas. But that's definitely what's going on.
So what type of hope would you give to some families in that predicament? Just giving them hope to get their mind right and get through this situation, and know that, stay true to themselves. Help is on the way. We're coming from Houston. We're coming from all over the world. What would you say to those families?
Well, I always say stay prayed up, man, because at the end of the day, God got the final say so. The devil always working. And, with him always working, you got to understand you can be attacked at any moment. You can be discouraged at any moment. You just got to keep faith. Because the goal of what it looks like with people only affecting that area is to make them tap out and get out the way and move, and I don't feel that part is right. So you got to just be strong. I feel like how God say, no weapon that forms shall prosper. It could be a situation where they form and all the stuff to make you tap out and give up and move from there. But at the end of the day, you just got to stay strong through it and faith.